Hold on.
Is that all the way?
Smell gas.
Day number 2. Welcome to the next video, guys. So like I just said, this is day number 2. Sorry the footage got cut short on the last one. I ran out of memory on my SD card on my camera. So yeah, actually it went pretty well yesterday. I'm not gonna lie, it went fairly well, other than getting the last bolt out of the left side valve cover in the very back. Dude, that took me 4.5 hours. I could have probably pushed the whole car over. I was so fucking mad. But I was actually to the point to where I was gonna put on the adapter plate. So I was gonna put the new valve covers on and put on the adapter plates. But I need to change the spark plugs. The spark plugs absolutely have to be changed. And so I got the NGK Iridium 6510s. I do have to gap these to 0.32. They're set at 0.44. And I had to get 16. These things were like $15.50 a spark plug. I just spent over $240 on spark plugs. So if you're thinking about doing this, keep that shit in mind. Brand new, never changed spark plugs before, so I had to get some spark plug sockets. It's the 5/8 one, but I went ahead and got the 9/16 one just in case I need it in the future. Got some torque bits. So today the goal is to get these spark plugs changed, get the valve covers on, get the adapter plates on. I'm still waiting for the supercharger gaskets. You know, the pulley gasket, the lid gasket, the other gasket goes on the front on the nose of it, and then also the throttle body gasket. Those aren't going to probably be here till Monday or Tuesday, and I'm also waiting on the Metco pulley. So the goal is to get all, you know, the valve covers on, the adapter plates on, and get the supercharger set down in there, and then possibly the oil catch can as well. And then we're just playing the waiting game to get those gaskets to put the rest of it on, and then we'll run the fuel lines. We got the relays and the intercooler, coolant, stuff like that. So I'd probably say we're like 35% of the way. So yeah, let's get to it, and I'll see you guys in the garage. All right, ladies and gents, so I didn't record me taking out, putting the spark plugs in yesterday. So the last clip you seen when I was going to AutoZone to get the spark plugs, which were expensive as hell, like I said, $240, $250 some odd dollars. I didn't record it just because it took so long. It only took me so long because it was hard as hell to get those old valve covers off. There was a bolt in the left backhand corner that it took me 4.5 hours to get the last bolt off. It was insane. But since then, I have switched out the old spark plugs, which looked god awful. Terrible. You can see that. Switched those out, put the new spark plugs in, and got the new valve covers on, and they're looking good as hell. Let me show you guys. This is where we are at. Valve covers on, painted, looking good. We got to put the coil packs back on and things. Also got the idler pulley on as well. So basically what I had to do was I cut that all the way down. Idler pulley, it's a bracket from CFR Performance, triangle bracket. I had to take out this long bolt, this bolt up here, then this bolt right here behind it. Put the pulley on, or put the bracket on, and then put these pulleys on, right? There's a washer that goes in. There's also 2 little things that go in the back of it. And yeah, so I had to loosen the belt as well with the belt tensioner so it'll fit. Won't be using that belt anyway. But this is where we're at, man. We're getting some progress done. It's crazy just because I can't believe I'm doing this shit. It's like my first car project, if you will. The most I've ever done, like I said, is change the oil and change my tires and shit. But I'm excited, man. I'm excited. We're making our way along. And so next we are going to tighten up these bottom bolts on these valve covers. That's going to take some time. Get the coil packs put back in there, hook those up. Oil catch can needs to be set up today. So we got the oil catch can, valve covers tightened. Brackets, we got to put the brackets, the supercharger brackets on the valves, and then might be able to set that supercharger up there. Can we focus a little bit? The new gaskets for the supercharger come in today in the mail, along with the fuel lines. I got to run the fuel lines, and that's what I want to get done in this video, right? Hopefully by the end of this, we will have the supercharger sitting on there. I can't wait to see what it looks like. I'm sure it's gonna be some headaches and some cuss words and stuff going on, but again, let's get this thing started. All right, so to kind of take a break from putting those screws in the valve covers, because that shit is awful, it's terrible. I don't know how I'm gonna get the bottom ones in without pulling the motor. I have no clue. But we had a package delivered, what we've been waiting on, anticipating, which is the supercharger lid gasket, and basically the whole thing. So what sucks is I just needed the lid gasket and the gasket that goes on the front plate of this right here, this piece, you guys can see. And I ordered it, and it was only like 60 bucks, but it was back ordered till like mid-October. So back ordered for like 6 weeks. I'm not waiting that long. So I paid $300 for the entire gasket kit, and what it came with was a lot of things that I don't necessarily need. Like this goes on the base part of the supercharger. A lot of O-rings. I needed the little O-rings actually to put up there. Things that go in the lid, don't need these either. And some internal stuff that I also don't need. But it came with a lot of stuff, man. So if anything ever screws up on it or fucks up on it, I have the stuff for it. So that just came in the mail, and then also high horsepower 2.85 Metco pulley also came in the mail. All right, so everything that we got in this pulley kit is a pretty badass tool to be able to grip the back of this piece here, and then this to put in the front. You put it in the socket, it breaks, it shouldn't be super hard, and then we have the pulley itself in here. So I got this from High Horse Performance, 2.85 size, and again, this is what Burn recommended, so this is what I went with. You need a smaller pulley and to flip it around to be able to run the Supercharger, because the one that's on it is too big and does not line up with the other pulleys, the rest of the pulley system. So what I'm gonna do now is put these gaskets on the Supercharger, get it put back together, then I'm gonna go back over here and figure out these damn valve screws, because this shit's awful. All right, so as you guys see here, this is the lid gasket that was much needed, that was torn, and so I ordered it. I need this piece, and then I also needed this gasket down here, which I put on. And so now what I want to do is grab the front piece here, and here is the piece from High Horse Performance, the tool. You see how that locks on there? Then I'm gonna put the big nut, pause, in the front of it, crank it, and that's gonna take the pulley off. So here is what goes in the front of it. All right, so as you guys can kind of see, we have the HP 1000 tool that's holding on the back of this. We have it screwed in, got a 24mm socket, impact. I'm gonna put this in here, boom, like so. Put it on forward and just release and see what it does. Well, that was extremely easy. That didn't even, I probably could have done that by hand. Okay, so there's the pulley. Pretty straightforward. Bring that off. And there it is. Let's put the new one on. So, before putting the pulley on, it is instructed by High Horse Performance to actually fully disassemble the pulley. Take this part out of it here. Set this over to the side and tighten this by hand as tight as possible, and then apply 40 pounds of torque to it. All right, so we're gonna throw this on here, tighten it by hand, and then 40 pounds of torque. So I'm gonna do that now. 10 out of 10 do not wanna be doing this on top of your Supercharger either. That's probably the dumbest thing I could ever do. All right, cool, got the snout on. Put these bolts back in here. All right, we're rocking and rolling. We have this installed. I wanted to go ahead and throw the throttle body back on, but I don't know if this has been ported or not, because most of them do have a lining that goes here to put one of these gaskets into. But this one doesn't have it, and neither does the throttle body, so I don't know if it's been ported or what. But I will probably have to get something like some RTV sealant or something, silicone, to put on here before I throw the throttle body back on. So while I have to go pick some of that up here in a minute, what I'll do is go ahead and put this match sensor back on right here before we put the top on, and we'll throw the top on and see what it looks like. Okay, the moment we all been waiting for. Let's throw this thing on. Well, look how good that look with that paint on it, boy. All right, super important. I'm gonna take my time and I'm careful. Do not want to screw up this gasket here, because I'm already knocking shit around. Side's kind of lined up. That side is not lined up, but the gasket still looks good. The gasket is moving. Oh my God. This is crazy. I don't know if it's because I'm very footing it or whatever, because I don't want to mess up the gasket, but come on. Ain't that hard to lay a damn lid down. Yes, sir. There it is. Boy, that orange looking like something crazy, boy. Looking good, man. It's looking good. I can't wait to put that on there. Matches the brake pads, or the brake calipers. I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do about these bolts down here, man. I'm about to go ahead and clean these valves off that should be covered up and put the adapter plates on it. Get everything ready as if I was gonna put the Supercharger in, but I have to figure out what I'm gonna do with these. I'm scratching the paint all up on these, trying to figure out how I can get these hex bolts in. So I gotta figure that out, but putting this together gives me hope. Okay, so on over to the Supercharger bracket adapters. So adapter brackets, whatever. Here are the gaskets and here are the adapters. So one thing that's been duly noted is, for one, you need to make sure that's clean, and these need to be covered the entire time, because if something gets down in those valves, cylinders, it's over with for you and your car. So I'm gonna take this gasket, and it is noted that you want the gasket to face outside, face this way, because that is where the Supercharger will bolt up. Seems like that'll fit a little bit better there. Yes, sir. So I'm trying to figure out why there's two. I mean, you definitely don't stack them. So maybe it's a replacement, not sure. So those go there.
And I'm gonna clean up the other one and get the other one put on. So as far as these heavy ass brackets go, make sure none of the holes are burned, which they are a little bit. Burn a little bit there, so you might wanna put your screw down there first so it doesn't go down in any of the valves there. There it is. Let's tighten these down. All right, so we're gonna use a T30 here to tighten these down. Didn't see any certain torque that these need to be tightened down to, so not gonna over tighten them. Just do them where it feels like it makes sense. Yes, sir. All right, so here is what comes with the fuel line run. That's what we're gonna use for the back of the supercharger rail, and this is what's gonna hook into the fuel line in the back of the Challenger, back of the car. All right, so first things first, we're gonna take this part off here and connect it to the supercharger. What we're gonna do is take this here. It's already been disconnected, so I already took this off actually. So there's two parts, it's screwed in, you unscrew it, and there's a clip, and then there's this piece here. All right, so what we're gonna do is, like I said, usually it just comes, this little hose here, or this little part piece here comes straight out. Mine has this one back here, not sure why, some of you may know why, I don't know. But you're gonna put this little part here, and it was confusing, actually I had to learn how to do this part, but put it up here above the little circle thing here. You're gonna push this up onto here, and then you're gonna twist it in so it connects, and that fitting ain't going nowhere. And so what you wanna do is you can grab a wrench and tighten it down, which is what I'm gonna do now. Now, I'm gonna take this piece here and I'm gonna tighten this down on here. Now, it should go like this. If this part was connected to here, it would go like this and run to the back. But, of course, I have the one Hellcat Supercharger that's like this, so I'm gonna go ahead and tighten this down. And then we're gonna take this part here, and that's gonna click down on, I believe, the fuel line. I may sound like an idiot, but maybe the fuel line that's in there. I'll have to go back and check, look at the manual, and see which one this connects to, but I'm pretty sure it's that fuel line back there. All right, so that's the setup. Hey, real quick before I announce, take a look at the front of this. This is the pulley. So I actually didn't show me putting the pulley on. Had to flip the 2.85 Metco pulley around, put on the attachments, make sure that this was off. So you wanna put on the little metal piece that goes here first, and then flip this around. You want to tighten this on, thread, put blue thread chaser on the, or whatever the stuff, seal tight, whatever it is you put on the bolts here to stay in, and then torque them down, all right? And that's the pulley. But with that being said, we've got the throttle body on, we got the fuel lines connected, we got the pulley on. Hey, it's time to throw this thing in, all right? Let's get to it. All right, guys, moment of truth. Let's, me and my pop's about to put this supercharger on, see what it looks like, and hopefully she starts up. We gotta put it on, connect the hoses, figure out how to do this belt. That's pretty much it. All right, let's do it. Got her in there. About to tighten it down. Say what's up, Pop.
What's up?
Yes, sir. All right, so she's sitting in there. This was a B word, trying to get down in here without a lift. I recommend you got a lift, but we're gonna tighten these bolts down, connect all these wires, all the injectors, and try to get her cranked up. Moment of truth. We just hooked up back up the battery line. This is the first official start. It is what it is. All right, heathens. It's the most important part. We've been waiting for this entire time. 4 days in the making, with a couple days in between waiting on parts. I have no clue what's gonna happen. I've got shit wired up. Hopefully it's the right way. But I just reconnected the battery. The lights came on. That's good. I'm gonna prime it and start it up. See if it comes on. Did it do it? Did it?
That's priming.
Gotta do it again. You hear that? What was that? Did that sound like that was water? Or like something leaking?
I don't know.
That sounded like something was leaking. Do you see anything?
Hold on.
Is that on all the way?
Smell gas.
Alright, blow it on.